Greetings, Mavericks and new viewers. Tonight, direct and live from the Maverick News Network World Studios. This is Maverick News with Rick Walker.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Maverick News Channel. Big day today as Zelensky went to the White House along with his backup team, his reinforcements to meet with Trump, European leaders in tow, or maybe leading him. You can look at it either way. Not exactly sure where we've wound up here tonight. Trump is saying they've made progress. It feels like peace may be at hand, but everything sort of still depends on Vladimir Putin, and they're still ironing things out. And to help us make sense of it all, we have Joseph Lenard. He will be joining us on the program. So stay tuned for that. Also, Battleriver Crowfoot, by-election day out in Alberta. Leader of the Conservative Party, Pierre Poilievre, looking for a path back to Parliament, looking to win that by-election after losing his seat in the last election so that he can have a seat again in the House of Commons and resume his role in a real way with the Conservative Party. If he doesn't win tonight, well, then I think we're probably looking at a leadership convention, and who the heck knows what's going to happen with over 200 names. Did you get that? 200 names on the ballot out there. A ballot 7 feet long. They have to write the name of their choice in because of that long ballot committee. But we'll get into that and more when we come back on the other side. Oh, and we have a new sponsor for our program tonight. Our first sponsor ever. Let's just let it roll.
Poser. Definition: a person who pretends to be what he or she is not. An affected or insincere person. A fake, a fraud. Like this guy who says he hates Trudeau, but actually voted for him.
And that's how Trudeau got in. He legalized pot. Well, you have my fucking vote, buddy.
He's got a flag on his truck, screaming loud, talking tough, calls Trudeau a call-me joke.
Right, so he got away with a lot of things, Justin Trudeau.
But in the booth,
Well, you have my fucking vote, buddy.
that pencil broke. You got my vote. Yeah, I lied, then I took that note. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote. Told my crew not never vote. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote.
Fuck you guys.
Freedom shirt and a rebel hat, yells I stand, but he won't act. Blames the world, plays the game, pulls the lever, votes the same.
Fuck off.
Trudeau, you got my vote. Says he's mad, but he's just remote. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote. Master of disaster, watch it float. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote.
Well, you have my fucking vote, buddy.
He hates the man, but feeds the plan. Sold us out with a hidden hand. No spine, no shame. Just burning down the name. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote. Fake rebel in a freedom coat. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote. Burn it down while he stays afloat. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote.
I don't give a fuck. Fuck you
You
guys.
said you wouldn't,
There's too many pussies in this country to do anything about it anyways.
but you did.
Call me a traitor. Call me whatever you want.
I got both shots.
You said you're different.
Well, you have my fucking vote, buddy.
Fuck off.
You're full of it. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote.
Well, you have my fucking vote, buddy.
Fuck you guys.
Brought to you by Leo Lucifer and the Libertarian Party of Canada.
Let's bring our guest in, and thank you to our sponsor, the Libertarian Party of Canada. Hello, sir.
And I dug up my whiteboard for Leo. Right. and as I spoke to on your show before, the libertarians, one issue vote. Hey, as long as you let me get high in mama's basement playing video games all day on handouts, you got my vote.
Well, he does like to do that. But on to
And two disclaimers before we get rolling. One, I was not a Reagan cultist. I am not a fucking Trump cultist. I am a real conservative, a constitutionalist, a real Republican. If and when Trump does, I give him an A minus. Maybe a B plus, maybe an A. Not like you cultists who give him an A plus, because I don't flip flop on the spending issue. And while the good things in the one big beautiful bill had to pass, the tax cuts, the growth policies, I still call out the pork in the bill, because I'm not a fraud. I'm not a fake. I'm not a phony. I'm real conservative, not a Sino. I'm real Republican, not a rhino. I'm real MAGA, not fake MAGA, right? So the spending, stupid, and spare me the 1.5 trillion in cuts. Are you retarded, or you know better and spew the talking point anyway? It's 1.5 trillion in projected potential cuts over 10 years. If and only if Republicans retain control and those actual real 150 billion, which is the only real cuts, are maintained in future spending bills, or I mean left out of future spending bills. And if the left gets control of the House and Senate again, that 150 billion will be put back in, as well as another 300 billion on top of that. And Trump has not threatened to veto a single spending bill again, like the first term. So I deal in reality. The second disclosure, I haven't watched the news today. I watched 2 CFL games today that were recorded over the weekend because...
Wait. CFL, like Canadian Football League?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you, you American, you?
Yeah, and thank you, Rough Riders. I won my dime bet. And thank you, BC Lions. I won my dime, but no thank you to the Detroit Lions, who pissed away the game against the preseason against the Dolphins. And so Goff, Goff didn't play, but the coaches, get together 10 cents you owe me for that bet loss. But yeah, no. You can't trust what's coming out of the news today because it's all fluid. Any leak about the talks today can't be trusted, shouldn't be trusted, because it's fluid and ongoing, as diplomacy always is. People, we will speculate today, but we're being clear. We're speculating. They're telling you they're reporting news. They're not. They're speculating.
Okay. So
hold on. Let me put my soapbox away. Yeah.
Maybe we need to dial her down just a little bit here. We do want to talk about what happened with the Zelensky visit, the EU leaders coming along with Trump. And we're going to get into all of that. But Joseph, you took your T-shirt and you put it behind you.
Yes.
Right. So please explain what that is behind you.
Yeah, no, that is not Sydney Sweeney, but that's on a shirt I wear everywhere because I understand cross promotion and marketing. Kennedy, female behind me, is an AI generated image of my character, my girl Kennedy. It was created before the Sydney Sweeney.
Okay, I don't. Yeah, I know. But what is the book?
So I'm making use of it.
Your what? Did you write the book?
Yeah, oh, that's my book, The Book of Kennedy. It's my sixth international book about life and living, right?
Okay.
The massholes out there trying to drag people down, trying to live a good and optimistic life, despite all the bad things that can happen to good people.
So that's the cover of your book.
That was going to be the cover, but through the Kindle direct publishing process, they wouldn't accept the image, so I had to change it a bit. But
why wouldn't
yeah,
they accept
that
the
image? And that is an image of 8 potential covers in the back of the book, both on ebook and print, that you can and will see in the book. The cover is not that.
Okay, why wouldn't they accept your cover?
Oh, not proper pixels, not this, not that, you know, and all the hoops and bullshit they put you through. So,
okay. All right, say no more. It wasn't because she was too sexy or something. No.
Right.
Her jeans were not because she had jeans that were too something or other.
One of the images is Kennedy in a bikini. You're going to want to buy the book just to look at
Kennedy in a bikini.
Yes.
Which Kennedy?
This Kennedy.
Kennedy.
My fictional Kennedy, yes.
Oh,
nothing to do with JFK or RFK or the Camelot clan.
You appropriated the name to just capitalize on it, and doesn't even have anything to do with with that Camelot or anything.
The reality is
you're a scammer.
Well, ex post facto.
I see what you're doing.
No, I should have chose. I should have chose a different
stole the
name.
Kennedy name. Then you cloned Sydney Sweeney in AI.
Yeah. No. The reality is, though,
it's okay. You're boosting the ratings with your AI generated
Remember when MTV used to be an actual music television station? The VJ Kennedy. So I like that name. So it's kind of quasi homage to Kennedy the VJ.
Are we ever going to talk about the news tonight?
Yeah, hold on. One last thought. But if I were thinking, I wouldn't have used Kennedy, because if you go on Amazon and put in Kennedy, what the fuck you think comes up?
Yeah.
My book is way down the page. All the other JFK, RFK stuff. So I should have called her Sydney.
Oh my.
Live and learn.
So anyway,
yeah, okay. Now that fun's out of the way, let's get to the serious shit.
Yeah, let's get to the serious stuff. I just a point. Anybody over there on Rumble Channel 2 should really go over to Twitch. I've made some changes. You'll probably find that some stuff on Channel 2 might not be working smoothly again tonight, because I am integrating some new software into our multi-streaming platform and kind of working through some channels one at a time. So 2 is what we're starting to work on to integrate some of the new stuff. Twitch should be running fine, and it also has some pretty unique features. Have you ever used Twitch, Joseph, to broadcast?
Not to broadcast. I've only used it once or twice. Same with what's that other one? Depot something Telegraph. Telegraph. Well, there's another one that starts with a D2. I was on there for a while.
Oh yeah, D-Live.
No, there's even another one. I can't think of it right now, but yeah, I mean, I want to be on as many platforms as I can be, obviously. Why would I want to limit myself, right? But you have to keep I'm on 15 plus social media platforms. That's enough, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Let me Let's take a little break here. We're going to come back, and then we will get serious. And we'll start digging into this stuff with.
And meanwhile, in the break, go to Amazon, buy my book. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No self promotion. Fair enough. We'll be right back.
Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals, defenders of individual rights and freedoms, credible, trusted, grounded in reality. Maverick News, defending free speech, Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Just received a message there, Joseph. Somebody missed a message, missed the message earlier in the program from our new sponsor. And you know what the important message here is? It's twofold, really. One is that I did not ever vote for Justin Trudeau, but somebody else did.
Poser. Definition: a person who pretends to be what he or she is not. An affected or insincere person. A fake, a fraud. Like this guy who says he hates Trudeau, but actually voted for him.
And that's how Trudeau got in. He legalized pot. Well, you have my fucking vote, buddy.
He's got a flag on his truck, screaming loud, talking tough, calls Trudeau a call me joke.
Right, so he got away with a lot of things, Justin Trudeau.
But in the booth,
Well, you have my fucking vote, buddy.
that pencil broke. You got my vote, yeah, right, then I took that note. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote. Told my crew, nah, never vote. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote.
Fuck you guys.
Freedom shirt and a rebel hat, yells I stand, but he won't act. Blames the world, plays the game, pulls the lever, votes the same.
Fuck off.
Trudeau, you got my vote. Says he's mad, but he's just remote. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote. Master of disaster, watch it float. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote.
Well, you have my fucking vote, buddy.
He hates the man, but feeds the plan. Sold us out with a hidden hand. No spine, no shame. Just burning down the name. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote. Fake rebel in a freedom coat. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote. Burn it down while he stays afloat. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote.
I don't give a fuck. Fuck you
You
guys.
said you wouldn't,
There's too many pussies in this country to do anything about it anyways.
but you did.
Call me a traitor. Call me whatever you want.
I got both shots.
You said you're different.
Well, you have my fucking vote, buddy.
Fuck off.
You're full of it. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote.
Well, you have my fucking vote, buddy.
Fuck you guys.
Brought to you by Leo Lucifer and the Libtardian Party of Canada.
That's going to be my new ringtone. Sorry. Joe Lenard here from Detroit as the Martian tripods cross the... Oh, no, we're doing that another
That's
day.
for another day.
Yeah.
The difference between what you were just talking about there, the Martian tripods, that's fiction. What we just ran, that's actually true. So therein lies the difference. That is actually truth. Somebody actually did vote for Justin Trudeau, the worst prime minister in Canadian history. Because
Yeah.
why? Because he's not what he says he is. That's why.
Trusting Trudeau, a deer, a female deer. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you are not happy with liberalized drug laws, if you are not happy with the resulting tent cities that we have, high unemployment, massive inflation, the lockdowns, mandates to have people jabberooниed, then you know exactly who to blame. And I'm not talking about Justin Trudeau. I'm talking about the idiot that voted for him.
Yeah. And
This
all
guy
the
right
other
here.
idiots,
Yeah.
right? And we've got the same.
Yes.
We got the same retards here in the U.S. Libertarians. I agree with actual real libertarians who will believe in personal responsibility. I would be all for legalization of these drugs if only if you eliminate the welfare state first. You take responsibility for you can't get a job because you're high all the time. It's not my fucking problem to then give you handouts to live in mama's basement.
See, that's the thing about you, Joseph, is you're pretty consistent. When you say you're a conservative, you pretty much mean it. But this guy, well, maybe not so.
Poser. Definition: a person who pretends to be what he or she is not. An affected or insincere person. A fake, a fraud. Like this guy who says he hates Trudeau, but actually voted for him.
And that's how Trudeau got in. He legalized pot. Well, you have my fucking vote, buddy.
That guy.
Yeah.
We'll hear more about that later.
No, I am. And if I make an exception as a conservative, like I did with Trump on tariffs, I'm anti-tax. Therefore, I'm anti-tariff.
Because
retards
shit like some
right. But hey, retards, what do you want to do? Have military engagement instead? It's the only tool we've got, so I give him grace. And what he's doing is fucking working. I don't care about the rhetoric. I care about reality, what happens, not your intention. And it's working so far. And if it weren't, I would say otherwise, because I'm normally anti-tariff. I made an exception, but I'm clear that I'm making an exception.
Okay, just do me a favor, okay? Could you don't invade us, all right? Please.
Yeah, that
it's not
still
necessary.
going on. Right.
No,
the U.S.
like,
should be its own. The U.S. should be its own continent. What? We're going to invade Canada and Mexico to turn the whole continent into the United States here. Oh, come on, people. Oh, come on.
That's what I'm glad to hear you say that. I did talk to somebody down in Florida about this too, that I know, and I said, "Do you guys ever hear much about the 51st state stuff?" And he says, "Nope," because down there they're not telling you what's going on up here. You don't know what's going on up here. I'm going to tell you though another day or another time. I'm going to clue you in. Because it's a thing up here, man.
I'm on the northern border Canadian state. Yeah. I literally can walk from my house to the river and almost hurl a rock over to Ontario.
Anyway, this is a discussion for a bit of a different day. But
we're now 30 minutes in, and
I know we still haven't talked about the important. It shows you how important today's developments in Washington
again, it's only day 2 or 3. Well, I mean, the discussion about needing peace in some shape or form has been ongoing for years, but it's only now really getting serious whether we can have a real peace or if it will be Neville Chamberlain idiocy, only on paper peace in our time.
So did you really not watch the news today before coming on here tonight?
No,
So do you have any idea?
do
even what
I
happened?
lie to you? I watched the CFL games, as I
So-
told you I did.
You watched football and all right. Well, you're probably just as well informed as anybody who watched the news.
None of the
Anyway.
news is real today. It's all leaks and innuendo and speculation. I can
so you
do
don't
my
even
own
know?
speculation.
So you mean I got to tell you? I have to inform
Well,
you?
I mean, I know he met with Zelensky. I know he met with EU leaders. I know he called Putin as part of the process, didn't wait days, and supposedly maybe a couple weeks from now, there may be a trilateral between Trump, Putin, and Zelensky. But again, until I see real concrete things in place, I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay. Well, they did sit around a table and talk.
Yeah, well, we knew that was going to happen, and we can more than easily speculate. Right? I can
don't
tell
need to
you
speculate. I heard what they had to say. I was busy through the day as well.
if you
I
trust what
did.
leaked out.
Well, it's not what leaked out. It's what came out of this. Here, let me roll some of this so we can inform not just the viewers, but I guess you as well. I'm so glad I have my learned and well-informed guest on tonight to help us understand.
Well, I
the depth
was
of this.
leading into this morning.
Okay, let's let this.
All of the wonderful things that took place today. We've had a very successful day thus far. Important discussions as we work to end the killing and stop the war in Ukraine. We're all working for the same goal, very simple goal. We want to stop the killing, get this settled. I've just had the honor of being with President Zelensky and all of the discussions that we've had. We've covered a lot of territory. And I spoke indirectly with President Putin today. We're going to call President Putin right after this meeting. I'm sure we're going to have a solid meeting, good meeting, maybe a great meeting. And we're going to try and work out a trilat after that and see if we can get it finished.
There's stuff you don't know,
Put this
though,
to sleep,
Joseph.
because this is
It is important.
not since the Second World War has there been anything like this.
But
So
we'll
I'm
get you up
honored
to
to
speed.
welcome
Along
NATO
with
Secretary General Mark Rutte, who's a great gentleman, great political leader.
This
in
was a
Europe
big win for
generally,
Zelensky
but
today.
now he's the NATO Secretary
EU.
General, and you're doing a fantastic job. Thank you very much, Mark. Prime Minister
Well,
Starmer of the
No, it was.
United Kingdom,
Have-
our friend
going
and
to
my
have
friend,
to
and
give up
let him keep
territory.
talking. Let him keep talking.
doing really well, and people like him a lot. We all like him. Everyone knows President Macron of France, who's been with me from the beginning. One of the first people I met as a foreign dignitary, and I liked him from day one. And I like him even more now. That's pretty good. That's unusual. That's a pretty unusual thing. Prime Minister Meloni of Italy, who's a really a great leader and an inspiration over there. She's served now, even though she's a very young person, she's served there for a long period of time relative to others. They don't last very long. You've lasted a long time. You're going to be there a long time. Chancellor Merz of Germany, who is a very strong person and a very strong leader and very highly respected in Germany. And he's my friend, and it's an honor to have him as my friend. Thank you very much. Very good. You look great with your tan. Where did you get that tan? I want to get a tan like that. President Stubb of Finland, and he's somebody that, where are we here? Huh? Where? I'm right here. Oh. You look better than I've ever seen you look. But you've done a great job, and we wanted to have you here because you're somebody that we all respect. And you've had a lot to do with the success, I think, and the potential success. And thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it. And the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, who is somebody that we just made a big deal with all of those countries. I don't know. I think you might be more powerful than all these guys at this table. I don't know. But we had a great negotiation, and you're respected all over the world. So I want to thank you very much for being here. It's a great honor to have you. The Alaska summit reinforced my belief that while difficult, peace is within reach, and I believe that in a very significant step, President Putin agreed that Russia would accept security guarantees for Ukraine, and this is one of the key points that we need to consider, and we're going to be considering that at the table also, like who will do what, essentially. I'm optimistic that collectively we can reach an agreement that would deter any future aggression against Ukraine, and I actually think there won't be. I think that's even overrated, largely overrated, but we're going to find out. And I think that the European nations are going to take a lot of the burden. We're going to help them, and we're going to make it very secure. We also need to discuss the possible exchanges of territory, taking into consideration the current line of contact. That means the war zone, the war lines that are pretty obvious, very sad, actually, to look at them. And negotiating positions. President Putin, also, you have President of Ukraine, who is, you just met a little while ago, and we're going to try and get a three-party meeting, maybe as soon as we can. And I have a feeling you and President Putin are going to work something out. Ultimately, this is a decision that can only be made by President Zelensky and by the people of Ukraine working also together in agreement with President Putin. And I just think that's very good things are going to come of it. So I hope we have a good meeting. And if we can have a good meeting, I'll set up a meeting with President Putin. And if you'd like, I'll go to that meeting. And not that I want to do that, but I will do that because we want to save a lot of people from dying. A lot of people are dying, and we got to save them. Got to save it. 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people sometimes a week. All of us would obviously prefer an immediate ceasefire while we work on a lasting peace, and maybe something like that could happen. As of this moment, it's not happening, but President Zelensky and President Putin can talk a little bit more about that. You know, in the 6 or so wars that we stopped, we haven't had a ceasefire. And so I don't know that it's necessary. You can do it through the war, but it would be, I like the ceasefire from another standpoint. You immediately stop the killing. But I believe a peace agreement at the end of all of this is something that's very attainable, and it can be done in the near future. With all of the wars that I got involved in, we only have this one left. Of course, as I walk out the door, there'll probably be a new one starting, and I'll get that stopped too. But I thought this was going to be one of the easier ones. It's actually one of the most difficult. They're very complex. The next step would be for a trilateral meeting, and that will be worked out. And I just look forward to working and having a great result. We're going to spend a lot of time today talking about, and we're really honored you guys came over. I mean, these are the heads of major countries and respected all over Europe. And they speak for, largely, I think I should say, but pretty much for the other countries of Europe. And we will come to a resolution today, I think, on almost everything, including probably the security. And that's pretty much the story. I'd like to say, Mr. President, would you like to say something? You have the media. If you want, you could come over and you could stand, you could use mine, or you could just turn around, whichever you feel comfortable with.
Thank you so much. I can speak without microphone. Thank you so much. I think that we had very good conversation with President Trump.
Very good.
And it really was the best one. Or sorry, maybe the best one will be in the future. But it was really good. And we spoke about very sensitive points. The first one is security guarantees. And we are very happy with President that all the leaders are here, and the security in Ukraine depends on the United States and on you and on those leaders who are with us in our hearts. They have been online before yesterday, and etc. So a lot of countries on the side of Ukraine, our people, and all of us want to finish this war, stop Russia and stop this war. We spoke about it, and we will speak more about security guarantees. This is very important that the United States gives such strong signal and is ready for security guarantees. The second point, or maybe the first, the humanitarian direction, very important to exchange all the prisoners, and I think that President will help. And I was very thankful to your wife again, Mr. President, for the letter about our abducted children, and I hope that really it can be a historic role for the people to bring kids back to the families and be happy. And
Yep.
to the
People
families.
back, yeah.
Yes, this is so
Devil's
so
in the
important, and
details.
I'm happy that we discussed it, this track with the President Trump, and I hope that we will find decisions. And then what is very important, that all the sensitive things, territorial, etc., we will discuss on the level of leaders during trilateral meeting, and President Trump will try to organize such meeting, and he said that he will come or not come. Ukraine will be happy if
That's
you,
gonna
if you-
happen.
If you
will
both want me
participate.
there, I will be there. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know that.
thank you. And I think this is very important. Yes, so security guarantees bringing kids back, and all our people, not only warriors, first of all warriors, and all the civilians, journalists, a lot of people in prison. So we need them back. And guarantees which will work for the years. We spoke about it, and I showed the President a lot of details on the battlefield, on the map. Thank you so much. Thank you for the map, by the way.
Good map.
It was great. Yeah. I'm thinking how to take it back.
We'll get you.
No. I think that we had constructive, specific meeting, and I'm very thankful to all the leaders who are here, and you help a lot, and so we are happy that we have such big unity today. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much,
for hosting us.
Mr.
Thank you.
President. I think you'll see that President Putin really would like to do something else. I think when we set that up,
That
when
part
we
I'll
do, I
believe
think it's
when
going
I
to be
see
when,
it.
not if. I think you're going to see some really positive moves. I know there's over 1,000 prisoners, and I know they're going to release them. Maybe they're going to release them very soon, like immediately, which I think is great. But we're going to set that up today after this meeting. So very good and great remarks. I appreciate it. Mark, as head of NATO, maybe you could say a few words, please.
Yes, I will be very brief. I really want to thank you, President.
Okay, let's just pause there, get some reaction from you, Joseph. What
Oh,
you've heard so far.
this is why I say none of this is news. This is all like exactly what I expected. And until I see Zelensky and Putin in Switzerland, neutral country territory, signing on the bottom line to all these things, including European troops being in what's left of Ukraine as an Article 5 tripwire assurance against future aggression from Putin, and not only children that were kidnapped returned, what I would like to see, we won't, and but it should be part of the negotiation, is reparations. What about Ukrainians trapped in the newly to be, because we're talking land for peace. We're talking a trade-off. What about those Ukrainians trapped in Russian-gained territories that want to move to Ukraine? Russia should guarantee them $100,000 US a head to be able to abandon their property and move into Ukrainian-controlled territory.
That's definitely a valid issue. Certainly, when you look at what happened when Russia took Crimea, for instance, what happened to the people who fled, the Ukrainians who fled, they had to leave
With
everything
nothing.
behind.
Yes.
Yeah, and they just took the
let me,
homes,
yeah.
took everything, right?
And let me be impartial and unbiased here and say, what about vice versa? If parts are going to be given back to Ukraine currently occupied by Russian troops, if there are Russians who want to move into the newly acquired territories that will be controlled, then Ukraine should offer to buy them out and help them move. Both ways.
Yeah, I don't think that there's occupied territory within Ukraine where the Russians have to move because they're Ukrainians, but that's another issue. The significant difference here today, though, that I think that you haven't really keyed in on yet, is that the United States is for the first time saying that they will be involved in any security guarantees, which is something that has previously been rejected off the table. So that the United States says, no, we won't be involved in that. That's up to Europe. But now they are saying they will be. Now, does that mean boots on the ground if Russia?
No, I don't think so.
No, it doesn't mean that necessarily, but it would mean ongoing support, weapons.
And that was going to happen whether it's
right?
written in or not. Because remember, Trump in his first term did send weapons to Ukraine to defend against further Putin aggression, but it happened anyway under Biden.
Now, yes,
Trump is not America only or America alone. America first doesn't mean that. He understands this world with intercontinental bombers and ICBMs. Oceans don't protect us. So what happens there matters. And indeed, there needs to be true boots on the ground of somebody, not the U.S., in Ukraine to assure an Article 5 like tripping of NATO, even they're not, a true honoring of the Budapest Accord that Clinton got us into.
Yes, actually. So
that
these are very valid points, important points that you're bringing up, because there will not be NATO under these conditions inside Ukraine. But you do raise an important point. There will be NATO-like security guarantees, an Article 5 like guarantee for Ukraine.
And I'm for that
anyway. Yes.
But until they're meeting across the table in Switzerland signing it,
right,
it's all speculation till it's signed and agreed to and the troops start moving. And if Russia is to give back a few areas of Ukraine, Russian troops are withdrawing. Until I see it, I don't believe it. It's all diplomatic speculation still and negotiation.
It feels like peace is at hand, but we don't know where Putin is going to land on this.
Right.
Tonight, this is Clinton in an interview referring back to what happened in 1994 and the Budapest Agreement, which I've raised many times on the program.
Yep.
Yes.
You and I are the only ones talking about it.
That's right. Yeah, very few people talking about this. You really have to tune into programs with,
yeah, because we're the only ones that deal in all. I'm also the only one that goes back to the history of Stalin and the Russians occupying Ukraine before World War II and the genocide, the famine, Stalin starving Ukrainians. Mr. Rogers, the movie, does a very good presentation of all that history most don't know or just want to ignore.
Well, here's Clinton.
What's happening in Ukraine?
Well, I knew that President Putin did not support the agreement President Yeltsin made never to interfere with Ukraine's territorial boundaries. An agreement he made because he wanted Ukraine to give up their nuclear weapons. They were afraid to give them up because they thought that's the only thing that protected them.
And proven true that they shouldn't have.
So he gave them up. Yeltsin's word was good. He kept his word, but he couldn't pass it through the Duma. So
Gorbachev and Yeltsin were never the problem. Putin is.
President Putin broke it and first took Crimea. And I feel terrible about it because Ukraine is a very important country. And I feel a personal stake because I got them to agree to give up their nuclear weapons. And
thank you, Bill.
That Russia would have pulled this stunt.
I hadn't heard this.
So I think what Mr. Putin did was very wrong. And I believe Europe and the United States should continue to support Ukraine. There may come a time when
under the accord
believes that they can think of a peace agreement they could live with, but I don't think the rest of us should cut and run on them.
Amen. You know, like it or not, the Budapest Accord was there. They gave up their nukes in return for security guarantees that we then threw them under the bus. Like it or not, we are allied with and obligated to some degree under the Clinton Budapest Accord. Like it or not, these are facts. That's the reality. You don't get to just ignore it. You don't have to like it, but that's the reality we got bound into by Bill Clinton. And thank you, Bill Clinton. I've not heard him accept any culpability for that idiocy before.
Let's take a little break here, Joseph.
Ukraine should have never given up their nukes. What were they thinking?
I don't know that it was entirely their choice, actually. But anyway, we'll be back in a moment, and we'll keep digging into this. And we've got other news to talk about tonight as well. So don't go away.
Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals, defenders of individual rights and freedoms, credible, trusted, grounded in reality. Maverick News. Defending free speech. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay. He's disappeared. My co-host for the night is gone. And he's back.
Oh, yeah. Quick potty break. Another point on the Yeltsin thing, right? Mm-hmm. Bill Clinton was correct. We had a reasonable, realistic potential partner in Gorbachev and Yeltsin. Putin engaged in a coup against Yeltsin, and when that failed, he and his other KGB and other Soviet buddies undermined the Russian economy so as to then overthrow it through fake elections, and Putin's been dictator 2+ decades ever since, right? We could have had, as Trump talks, prosperity and peace and commerce rather than chaos if Yeltsin or someone like Gorbachev and Yeltsin would have been the next leader of Russia rather than Putin.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so sorry, just a little distracted here, and all my video windows are.
And the other thing is Zelensky. I don't support Zelensky. Zelensky is a corrupt piece of shit. There's no question. But Putin is 1,000 times worse. So this is about the Ukrainian people, not Zelensky. So spare me to be anti-Zelensky, you got to suck Putin's dick shit.
Okay. Well, that's the high road. I don't know what to do with that, Joseph.
A little too street languagey for you. I was not very diplomatic there.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a breather for a moment.
Yeah, it bothers me on social media. People just to be anti-Biden, just to be anti-Zelensky. Oh, we're going to side with Putin, who, again, 2+ decades of dictatorship in Russia, openly says he wants to put the Russian Soviet Empire back together again. That's why we must nip it in the bud now, and there must be security guarantees that there isn't an attempted third bite at trying to take over the rest of Ukraine.
Okay. I'm going to take another break. I'll be right back.
Maverick News. The world is watching.
Even though I was watching the CFL games, I was still online. To the Truth Social idiot who I saw what Trump posted. So I see news via the social media outlets. But to the idiot who said, I responded, "Oh, this is good. This is moving forward. But it's not a done deal till it's truly a done deal." And he said to me, "Why do you care?" Well, retard, why I care is because I understand this isn't the 1800s. The oceans don't protect us. What happens there affects us whether we like it or not. So trying to get a peace and avoiding a third world war matters to me, as it should everybody. But it's got to be a real, lasting, and enduring and assured security, assured peace.
Mm-hmm. Okay, again, maybe we can just dial the energy down just a touch, because it's starting to. I got my Tylenol here.
Well, you know how I can get once you rile me up.
Yes, I see that. I know. Yeah,
you're getting Raging Joe of Savage Unfiltered here
Yeah.
to sit today. Yeah.
Let's try to keep it on the academic level here a little bit, because we're dealing with pretty serious subject matter, right?
Have I said anything incorrect, Rick?
No, I don't know. I don't want to repeat the language. Okay.
That was too street. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for what we're talking about, maybe just
to Detroit.
There you go. Yeah. Speaking of Detroit, last night as we were signing off, I was muddling my words. I made reference to the Corvette because we ran a little black vet. Corvette used to be made in St. Louis, now made in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I was saying that it was made in Quebec. It's not. Camaro made in Quebec at St. Therese. That factory was shut down, quite a while ago now, when they discontinued manufacturing the Firebird and Camaro. But I was referencing that, just kind of segueing into that song last night. But it is still important because they still make the engines, and this is why I was getting things muddled. In St. Catharines, not St. Therese, St. Catharines, Ontario, they make the engines for some Corvettes there. And in Quebec, what I wanted to show you last night, but I didn't really have time, and this is a sidebar story. There is a company there that I'm familiar with. I know the guy who runs this company. Here it is here.
Well, facts matter. And when we get something wrong, we will.
So before I signed off, I immediately went on and I said, I misspoke. So this is what I wanted. This is what I was referring to. So I know I've met this gentleman. who runs this company. And this is a Quebec company, and they make the Felino. It's a supercar. It's all custom, like it's all fabricated by them, and they
looks
do
like
offer.
Looks like a cross between a Vet and a Dodge Viper.
Yeah, it kind of has that vibe to it, but it is its own chassis. It's, it has those credentials. It's very exclusive, but they do put Corvette engines into these as well as as a couple of the engine options for this very unique Canadian built car. And I was just trying to highlight the integration still of of Canada into the U.S., the economy, specifically the auto industry, in light of all the tariff stuff going on right now that you're referring to, because Canada's under real pressure here. There's a trade war going on, in case you hadn't noticed. And it's certainly got people here, concerned.
It's going to take time to work it all out. It's not going to happen perfectly overnight. There will be winners, there will be losers in certain sectors of things in both the US and Canada. So yeah, and if I could get my hands on an original Vet, I would love that. But I was never a Stingray fan, but I get the evolution to it. I've owned 2 DeLoreans in my life. I would rather have a DeLorean than a Vet. Unless it's the original Vet.
Did you find your DeLoreans were adequately powered? Some people say they're underpowered.
Thank goodness the OPP didn't catch me doing 149 on 11 between Toronto and Aurelia, and there was plenty more room to the floor to go above 149. Now, a DeLorean style-wise was meant to compete against the Vet, but it only ever was going to have twin turbo V6. It was never going to be a V8. It's a touring car. It was never meant to be a muscle car.
How fast were you going? 149?
Yep.
MPH?
Yep. What's that in kilometers?
Well, boy, you almost went back in time twice. Here's Doug Ford looking ahead to the future after meeting with our Prime Minister today, Mark Carney, talking about this very issue, tariffs.
We'll just how to make sure that we have the most competitive market in the G7, and by making sure that we reduce taxes, get rid of unnecessary regulatory burdens off the backs of companies, and compete. I've always said, that we can never predict what Donald Trump is going to do, but we can predict how we can create the environment and the conditions for companies to come here and invest in direct foreign investment. The numbers came out a little while ago. Mind you, it was 2024. We had 409 companies, 39.875 billion, and 25,000 jobs created in Ontario. But keep in mind, that's before Donald Trump. So we have to beat him at his own game and make sure that we're more competitive and onshore as many products as possible.
So did you guys agree to any concrete?
Sounds like Trump there, doesn't he?
We had a great discussion. Nothing happens immediately in that room, but we're on the same page. We have a great partnership, and we're going to work jointly together to make sure that we're competitive and we create jobs.
How likely is it, do you think, we're going to get a deal right now, percentage-wise? What would you put on the chances of Canada and the U.S. getting a trade deal?
Well, the main one is the USMCA CUSMA deal. That's really the main one. But in the meantime, we have to hold firm, and we have to create the environment. For instance, the steel sector. The steel sector, we have to look at the large infrastructure projects, shipbuilding. Where Algoma up in Ontario, they do the flatbed steel, and make sure that large-scale infrastructure projects like a pipeline, the steel pipes come from Ontario.
You should be protecting
was your sense from the
that.
Prime Minister now that Canada just has to accept that we're going to have tariffs from the United States until we renegotiate USMCA? Like, is there any movement on getting those removed?
Well, I won't speak for the Prime Minister. What I can tell you, we're united on the message of let's start worrying about how we can be competitive here. Donald Trump is so unpredictable. I don't even know if he knows what he's doing tomorrow morning. So let's start focusing on creating that environment
But is there an
to attract
acceptance?
companies.
Is there an acceptance, I guess, from leaders
well,
that we'll just have the tariffs?
Again, the Prime Minister will speak on that, but the President is unpredictable. He'll come out with some cockamamie thing tomorrow that we don't even know about.
So
right?
do you think that Mark Carney is being too elbows down in response
Not at
to
all.
that unpredictability?
Not at all. He's doing an incredible job. He's working collaboratively with 12 other premiers and myself, and working as Team Canada. And he's doing a very, very good job, in my opinion. Put in his position, dealing with Donald Trump. Let's stop worrying about Donald Trump. We'll start focusing on Ontario and Canada and all the other provinces and territories.
Premier, today is Pierre Poilievre's by-election. If he gets elected, I'm wondering, what's your advice to him going into the fall sitting of the Parliament?
Work with the Prime Minister.
How so?
Let's Team Canada. You know, let's put our political stripes aside and start working together collectively on large infrastructure projects, on other areas that he can cooperate with the government.
Last question. Would you have plans to meet with Poilievre to push that message and make sure that he is working with the Prime Minister?
All I want to do is move forward collectively as a government. I don't care about political stripes. The person I'm working with right now is the Prime Minister of the day. And as far as I'm concerned, he's doing a really, really good job considering the position he's been put in. I challenge anyone to try to deal with Donald Trump, myself included. He's a different type of cat. But we're united. We know what we need to do. And we know that we need to cut the regulatory burdens off of companies, lower taxes, put money back into people's pockets, support companies that need investment to grow and expand here, and onshore, the procurement side. It's absolutely critical.
Air Canada workers, anything for Air Canada workers. What's your message?
Well, everyone deserves a fair wage for a day's work. They order them back to work, and I think it has to be in the best interest of the workers, the company, and most importantly, the people of Canada. So I'm glad they'll be sitting down and talking, but let's keep the airlines moving.
Isn't it a complete disaster, though? I mean, we've got the unions refusing, the workers say they won't go back to work. We've got thousands of people stranded. They don't know how they're getting home. Like, this has not worked out, right?
That's up to the federal government to sit and make sure they sit down on the table. That always happens when you have labor issues. But they'll work it out. It's happened before, and they'll get things moving.
Okay, thanks everyone. Do you have any plans to go to DC anytime soon?
Not lately. I won't. But when they need me, I'll be down there, giving my colleague Howard Lutnick a little poke.
Oh, do you think he needs one?
He needs a couple more pokes than me. Don't worry, I'll poke him. Thanks, everyone.
Any leader other than Justin Trudeau, Castro boy, is a better leader. Anyone
that's why
compared to
and that's why I cannot understand why Leo Lucifer, the liberal, voted for his boyfriend Justin.
Poser. Definition. A person who pretends to be what he or she is not. An affected or insincere person. A fake. A fraud. Like this guy who says he hates Trudeau, but actually voted for him.
And that's how Trudeau got in. He legalized pot. Well, you have my fucking vote, buddy.
He's got a flag on his truck, screaming loud, talking tough, calls Trudeau a commie joke.
Right, so he got away with a lot of things, Justin Trudeau.
But in the booth,
Well, you have my fucking vote, buddy.
that pencil broke. You got my vote. Yeah, I lied, then I took that note. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote. Told my crew, no, I'd never vote. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote.
Fuck you guys.
Freedom shirt and a rebel hat, yells I stand, but he won't act. Blames the world, plays the game, pulls the lever, votes the same.
Fuck off.
Trudeau, you got my vote. Says he's mad, but he's just remote. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote. Master of disaster, watch it float. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote.
Well, you have my fucking vote, buddy.
He hates the man, but feeds the plan. Sold us out with a
give a fuck. Fuck you
You
guys.
said you wouldn't,
There's too many pussies in this country to do anything about it anyways.
but you did.
Call me a traitor. Call me whatever you want.
I got both shots.
You said you're different.
Well, you have my fucking vote, buddy.
Fuck off.
You're full of it. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote.
Well, you have my fucking vote, buddy.
Fuck you guys.
Brought to you by Leo Lucifer and the Libertarian Party of Canada.
Wait. Now, for the record, Rick and I did not conspire in the chat for me to say what I said. It just happened to be a perfect setup for him to replay that. We did. Now, as to what he was saying, we all, and by we all, I mean U.S. citizens and Canuckstandians, all win when people like Ford are talking like Trump. We all win. Because
nobody's winning from this.
Well, there's going to be short-term pain, but
No,
in
it's gonna
the
be
end,
long-term pain.
want.
It's just barely beginning, Joseph.
Well, I want Trump.
Have you looked at your inflation numbers? Did you see your
Yeah,
jobs
they're
numbers?
way down from Biden. But anyway,
It's coming. Man.
I want Trump to be America first, and I expect Canadian leadership to be Canadian first. That's how it should work. We all win in that regard, rather than being globalists as they've been in the past.
Tariffs tariffs are inefficient, and
I agree. I'm normally anti-tariff, but they are a tool. Again, what? Do you want us to invade Canada? No, this is the tools we have to work with. Or especially, do you want us to have to invade China? These are the tools we have we can work with.
Okay. Yeah. What percentage of the Canadian auto industry? What percentage of? Let me rephrase this. Do you have any idea how much of the American market we supply with cars?
No, I don't know the number, but more so, I definitely know it's a large number of parts, even, right? Most here and a lot in Canada is assembled in, not fully manufactured in. We are interconnected and interrelated. That goes back to the war.
How does it
This
serve
isn't
the interests? How does
1800s.
it serve the interests of the United States to shut down all our auto plants in Canada?
Shutting them down doesn't.
Well, this is where we're
I
going.
agree.
That's what
I
we
agree
want.
with you there. And that shouldn't be the goal. But I agree with Trump being America first and wanting to try and bring back
But
as
you know,
much
being America
here
first sometimes
that we
means
can.
it
It sometimes
can
means
mean
somebody else will have
mutual.
pain.
Yeah, it means a win-win, not just winning on the American side.
And that's what I'm saying.
'Cause
That
you know-
eventually,
you know-
that's what we need to work towards. Exactly.
Yeah, but you don't do that with tariffs.
The tariff threats
Very
are the tool towards negotiating it.
Sometimes I will agree that tariffs, when used in a selective manner to achieve a specific goal, not necessarily an economic goal, but maybe a cultural goal, or to affect some other impact in society, where you're trying to protect something other than just, say, profit. Tariffs can be a useful tool. But
we agree on that.
But to impose just broad 35% tariffs across the board,
we also can agree on that. Again, back to the topic. I'm not a Trump cultist. I don't think he walks on water. I can and do criticize things he does.
And so when he says that we stole your auto industry, we didn't steal your industry, dude. Like,
no, you
live in
took
Detroit.
advantage of idiots that came before Trump.
No. You know, the auto industry, as I'm sure you must be aware, living in Detroit, has always, from the very, very beginning, has always been integrated between Canada and the United States. We both
Detroit and Windsor especially, yes.
We built it up together. We didn't steal it. We built it together.
And the stupidity was American leadership with overregulation and over-involvement and communist union leadership looking to line their pockets.
Because they made the industry less competitive through too much regulation. And so it left not just the United States, but Canada vulnerable to competition from, in particular, Japan and even like Germany when they
that hurt us both.
Send Volkswagen bugs to the United States and Canada. We've shared the same path through automotive history together and industrial history, because the auto industry has largely helped to drive the industrial revolution and modern society and the modern economy. It's been one of the engines that has driven all of that. But we didn't steal it, as Donald Trump said. We built it together. But what he wants to do, man, is he wants to take all the factories out of basically Ontario and have them relocate into the U.S.
Wow. Now you're falling for the Trump bogus hyperbole. Demand Mars so you can settle for the moon.
Except that what we're getting right now is an incredible instability because of his rhetoric. We're getting the economy jerking and thrusting forward, back and forth, with all the stupid things that he's saying. That's inefficient. That's costing jobs. It's costing productivity.
But you got to understand art of the deal.
Screw the art of the deal, dude. Do you not believe in free market economics?
Oh, I do. But
this is the exact opposite of it.
At the same time, again, if it were a Canadian leader that wrote the book Art of the Deal that was boisterous and idiotic
this is the
hyperbolic
stupidest deal ever. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen
it's
in
the
my
reality
life.
We have to deal in.
Because
he's
lost his
it's
freaking
what
mind.
we got.
Yeah, I'm so like, love you, love you, I do, but this is not good for the United States. It's certainly not good for us up here in Canada. You're
short term. No,
my God, Joseph, Canadians,
medium and long term are yet to be
afraid
determined.
to travel down there right now. It's pretty serious up here, dude. This is the thing. Even that cross across the river. There's so much going on up here that I think that maybe you're just not hearing about on the U.S. side because you're not, you're not getting the much of the Canadian perspective. Certainly, my friend down in Florida, absolutely clueless, right?
I've got CBC. I watch CBC, so I get some of it. Yes, of course, because I intend to be informed. But again,
not today. You watch the CFL. I don't even.
Well, and I
CFL,
told you why, though. There was a reason for that.
What's your interest in the CFL anyway? You're more Canadian than most Canadians I know. Why would you watch the CFL? How do you get interested in that?
Oh, I've always been. Again, I would love. We remember when the CFL expanded and there was a Sacramento team in the United States?
No, I don't watch enough of it to remember.
Right? I was hoping there would be a Detroit CFL team or at least one in Windsor.
Did you start to get dialed into it when there was the NFL strike and they started to broadcast?
No, I mean, I've always been, again, I've vacationed in Canada since I was a teen. So I've always been involved and integrated with things Canadian since my youth.
Yeah, which is why we should work together and not be at each other's economic
And I
throats.
want to work together. But again, I don't like everything about Donald Trump, but I
Me neither.
understand why he does some of the things he does. I don't have to like it. I don't have to agree with it because I'm not a cultist. But I try to deal in the reality we have. He's the president. Like it or not, the way he acts is the way he acts, and we have to work within that as best we can.
That's because everybody's afeard of the guy. he's a freaking maniac, and you never know what he's going to do from 1 minute to the next. And he's got nukes, so you got to watch your step. He's got a maniac with nukes. I don't know. It just it's just way too volatile. Man.
I don't think he's as much of a maniac as the persona you're trying to portray of him here.
Well,
a little bit, but he's unpredictable. And being unpredictable as a leader is a good thing.
Do you not remember that when the United States, Mexico, Canada trade deal was finalized, who was it that finished? Who was it was responsible for that deal?
That was under Clinton. You're talking Clinton NAFTA?
No, USMCA.
The first USMCA. Yeah, and I agree. You made that.
Who was responsible for that?
You got to honor it if you want to try.
Who was responsible for the USMCA?
Trump. No question. Yeah. That's a fact. There's no denying it.
And what did he say about it? What did he say about it at the time?
If you want to renegotiate
what did he say about it? He said it was the best trade deal ever.
Yeah, well, that was his hyperbolic BS talking.
Now what's he say about it? What's he say about it now?
That's his current hyperbolic bullshit.
Worst deal ever.
It is neither of those, either of those times.
It's just insane. So
now these are negotiation tactics. Yes.
Negotiation tactics. This is just crazy stuff.
You're dealing with a businessman, not a traditional politician.
He's not a businessman. I deal with businessmen. They don't do stuff like that, man. This is crazy. This is not good. This is not good, man. It's not good. Anyway, you and I aren't going to solve it. We're not going to change Donald
of course
Trump.
Not. Neither of us are in a position to solve it. And no, I don't have Donald Trump's ear. If I did, I would tell him, indeed, stop the hyperbolic, stupid shit and get serious. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, could we just like get normal and just feel like normal? Normal would be good.
But back to Ukraine, Russia, none of the facts changed that Russia invaded Ukraine. Ukraine was never a threat to ever invade Russia, ever, NATO or otherwise.
So, do you think it mattered today? Was this meeting?
Today? Yeah. Yeah, it had to happen. It was a step. But even Trump said it, and I agree with that of what he said, right? It's not a deal until there's a real deal. And again, until Putin and Zelensky are sitting in Switzerland, neutral territory, signing specifics, it's all speculation. It's all negotiation.
So put the two meetings together. You have what happened with Putin. He goes to Alaska. I think Putin outclassed Trump, frankly. I think that he took advantage of the trip, just the protocols, the etiquette, the way things unfolded, all those little things that people read into.
Well, Putin wins because he's looking like he wants to actually work towards peace, which his record has shown over and over. He's broken every agreement there's been, every ceasefire to date there's been. So he wins in that regard, and I don't buy it. That's
It
why,
wasn't just
again,
that though. It was far more than that. It was the way he conducted himself. So he made Trump look, like it looked like Trump was sort of taking a back seat to Putin at times,
and yet
by
you're
speaking first and so on.
you're
But-
kind of talking down to Trump actually of being diplomatic for a change.
Yeah,
I kind of got you there, didn't I?
Oh well, yeah, I'm
Maybe
not
a little.
disagreeing with you. Not disagreeing with you. But and then even the thing that I really took note of, I think it's more important than people realize, was two things in particular. Putin began speaking. First, he spoke first before Trump, which is not proper protocol. And then what did he speak about right off the top? U.S. Russian historical alliances.
Yeah. Oh, what?
Important.
The U.S. and Stalin was not an alliance. It was a necessary
But
cooperative.
he highlights this. This is important.
Right,
It
yeah.
is important.
It's
and
bullshit,
then where
but-
did he go? Where did he go? To which he went to the grave sites of fallen Soviet airmen or buried in Alaska.
That was a good PR move. Absolutely.
All of this against the backdrop of Putin still saying that Alaska really should belong to Russia.
Oh,
But
yeah, we're going back to
wasn't-
that, right.
but that's not really the important point. The point was that he was highlighting the partnerships, the relationship, between Russia, America, almost portraying Trump's America as a partner, if you will,
Yeah.
of
The
Russia.
only time
in the
there's-
face of this
Yeah.
conflict, this war, where the United States is supposed to be an ally and a supporter of Ukraine, but Putin is kind of portraying it the opposite way. And did you notice? Did
All
you see the
PR.
video today that was released by Russia on social media of the U.S. armored vehicle? Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that. You got
It's
that?
important too. I'm going to see if I can find
Now,
it.
again, but this is all PR propaganda. And I
It
can
is, but
debunk a lot
propaganda
of
is
it,
important
but
too,
yeah.
especially when you're trying to achieve.
The only
a
time there
goal in
really was a
information warfare.
positive alliance between the U.S. and Russia was during Gorbachev and Yeltsin. And we were working towards a long-term cooperative peace. And that went out the window with the Putin coup over Yeltsin.
Let me see if I can find. Here it is. Here, I've got the video. I'm going to show this to you. This is a U.S. armored vehicle that we're told was captured in Ukraine, and take a look at what is on it. What do you see on there?
Russia, U.S. flags.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
So that's today.
Again, of course, Putin is going to posture that way. He wants us to divide us away from Ukraine and the Budapest Accord that Putin broke.
I think it's more than that, Joseph, actually. He's sending a very important message.
Well, he's trying to.
Oh,
and
it's being sent.
From his perspective, of course he should be doing that. Of course.
What do you think the message is?
I think it's an irrelevant attempt at propaganda, is what I think the message.
But what's the propagandistic message?
That we should be closer together, the U.S. and Russia, than we with Ukraine. That's the message they're trying to send. And again, because I know history going all the way back before World War II, I know it's bogus.
I don't know. I think that it goes beyond that. In fact, if you listen to Dugan, he was saying 3 months ago that within 6 months you would see the United States aligned, and in particular MAGA aligned with Russia.
Trump has hinted at this with everything. Commerce versus chaos. If we can get a peace, then yes, U.S. and Russia can become closer. If you don't broker a peace, then more sanctions. There's got to be carrot and stick.
We'll see. I think that's the message that Putin and Russia have been trying, or we're sending with that video, with him visiting the grave site, with other things that happened in Alaska as well, and with his speech in Alaska. So he's highlighting these things, and
if I were Putin, that's what the message I want sent too. It's strategic. He's not. He's evil.
It's not
He's
just
not
strategic.
stupid.
I think it's an alignment of ideology. As well.
He may be evil, but he's not stupid. He may be correct, but he's not stupid.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people still are not quite cluing in to what's going on, but we'll see. We'll see if it comes to pass. You know, the one thing that is
I hope and pray that could become a reality.
That what could become a reality?
Us and Russia become closer. But
And how close? What do you mean?
You have, again, commerce versus chaos, like we were working with Gorbachev and Yeltsin till Putin upset it all.
Yeah. Careful. Better be careful. We better be careful.
We're treading through dangerous landmine-filled ground here.
Yes. Because the ideology driving this, especially from the Russian side, is expansionist. If you read,
I've been saying that all along. That's
read,
why I'm arguing
that
Putin is putting
material,
forth propaganda. Yes.
And that inevitably leads to war.
That would inevitably lead to World War III if we don't get this right now, because Putin has been playing. He wants to put the Soviet Empire band back together again. And it's why 20 plus years of him as dictator been working towards that. And
so this is the other reason why today was a big win for Ukraine.
Trust but verify.
Because because Zelensky and those European leaders have very carefully navigated through this. And what they've done is they have now positioned themselves, in particular Zelensky, as being willing and open to a peace deal, which is important so that the public optics here, you see, even though Trump came away from that meeting in Alaska, no ceasefire, no peace deal, Russia kind of had the upper hand. He looked kind of, not like Putin looked like the stronger of the two leaders. So Trump was on his back foot a little bit, but now he goes into this meeting, and I think it was a mistake for Putin to actually, he would have actually had the upper hand going at this point if he had allowed Trump to appear to have the upper hand. But instead, he made sure that he looked strong, and as a result, he made Trump look weak, which makes Trump feel bad. But now he goes into this today,
which
and
drives
these leaders,
Trump more to Zelensky.
These leaders are quite happy to take a step back, make it look like they're in the back seat. They make him feel good. They compliment him. They made sure that all the people around that
play
table
on his ego,
got along with Trump. Why was Mark Carney not there? Well, I'll tell you, because as an American, you probably aren't aware, Trump does want to take over our country, and he's not really getting along at all with our government. And so rather than risk upsetting the apple cart by putting the Canadian Prime Minister at the table today as well, they just kept him back, right?
Well, again, this is more a Europe issue.
Trouble there. So
this is more Europe than Canada or even the US.
But Canada's involved in Canada because again, even though you're like so close to Canada, I don't know if you're aware, but we're pivoting away from you guys because we need to make a lot of changes here in our country now because of what Trump has done. So we're pivoting our economy to Europe. We're pivoting maybe even our defense to Europe. We may not buy F-35 jets now. We may buy the Gripen instead. There's all this that's under review. Switzerland just decided they're not buying the F-35. They canceled their orders. Canada may not either. So there's a big shift going on. And so even though I get where you're coming from, America first means America not alone. You guys are more alone now than you realize because of all this. Now, what happened here today may actually help shore up and heal some of the damage that has been done in just the last few months between the United States, Europe, and even within NATO, the fractures that have emerged there, Canada included in that. I don't know, but this is why, Joseph, what I'm seeing going on, it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. There's no need for any of this. Like on the trade war stuff, you could tweak and adjust and fix and target certain things and negotiate stuff. But what we've got here is total freaking disruption in relationships, bloodletting,
Yeah. And I hear you on that.
Yeah,
But
this is not necessary.
Let me say
Yeah.
that how was the normal standard diplomacy working? The normal standard, we'll have meetings for the next 30 years.
Oh, I'm not
no,
talking.
he's got one term left to get it done.
Yeah, and
so he's using the hammer.
Well, as
he doesn't have 30 years
of hitting us with the hammer. Okay, we are now pivoting to Europe.
Yeah.
So, and in a really serious way. So I wish that was not the case.
There has to be a little more carrot than stick. I will agree with that. A little more carrot, little less stick would be better.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So but
we're not far
what
apart
happened here
again.
today? What happened here today was played brilliantly by the European leaders. They chose the right people to sit around the table with him.
And they needed
like
to be there.
Maloney, even Macron, he kind of gets along with him. Rutte, he gets along with Trump. All those people basically got along with Trump. And Zelensky said all the right things. He sat there. The first words out of his mouth, "Thank you."
Yes.
As soon as he walked in,
wore a
because
suit.
and he wore the suit. He did dress up a little bit,
right?
So he's dealing with all this BS stuff, but it's really stuff that matters. Also, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Zelensky also presented to Trump a letter from his wife to Trump.
Like
because
Melania
wrote the
gave
letter
to
Putin.
Putin.
And thank goodness for these women, because they've softened up Trump, especially Melania. It seems like she's talking to Trump and saying, hey, what about these children? And that's something we're not hearing much about in the media. It's a real issue.
Enough about,
the Russians are telling everybody that it's not true. It's all fake news, propaganda, and it isn't. They've taken thousands of Ukrainians.
Kidnapped thousands of children, put in camps, want to re-educate them and put them into Russian families. This is reality, right? And thank you for saying that again. For a while, you were worried me going over to the Putin side there. But no, it's like the Sting song, remember? Yeah. I hope the Russians love their kids too. But the point here is, Russians aren't our enemy. Putin is. I don't think Putin gives one whit about the Russian, Ukrainian, or American children, or he wouldn't have sent, potentially, if the number's true, 1 million to date to slaughter in Ukraine.
Yeah. So I guess all we can do at this point now is sit back and wait and see what happens.
It's going to take time. It's going to take time.
Today, what I'm going to do right now while we're here, let's take a look and see what Russian media is saying about this.
Oh, now there would be a good pivot.
Because this is, so let's go to RT.
I would expect them to play the Putin propaganda angle, but let's see.
I haven't looked yet, so this is a first for me, folks.
Because again, the Russians care about their kids. They don't want them slaughtered either.
Zelensky hails best meeting with Trump. He says that. You heard him say it. This was our best meeting, maybe the best meeting to come in the future.
That's hyperbolic bullshit, though, too. But that they bothered to report that is at least a fair degree that they bothered to report that.
Putin aide confirms details of Trump call. We'll come back to that in a moment. Trump shrugs off ceasefire demand. The old world order cracked in Alaska. Isn't that interesting? That's an interesting choice of words. The old world order cracked.
I've used that term before.
Yes.
Putin isn't against the New World Order. Putin
He
wants
is
to
the New
be.
World Order. He
Yes.
is the New World Order. This is what people don't understand. The New World Order. Yeah, it's him. It's that guy right there. The meeting between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump in Alaska may go down as one of Russia's most significant diplomatic wins. It was secured through years of military sacrifice, political perseverance, and relentless effort, yet it is also a transition, a step into a new stage of the struggle for sovereign states in a fractured world, breaking Washington's old doctrine. The most consequential result of Anchorage was the quiet burial of the West's old formula, isolating and strategically defeating Russia. For decades, any state refusing to fall in line risked ostracism. That system cracked in Alaska, not because of American goodwill. There is no such thing in international politics, but because of pressure. Pressure from Russia, from the so-called...
That's the Putin side, and I agree. It would be a win for Russia if they get to walk away with land. I don't like it. I don't want it. I'd like Russia pushed back, but reality says we're going to have a land for peace deal. That's just the way it is. And yes, it's more of a win for Russia than it is for us.
So...
Do you agree with that, Rick?
Yeah, I mean, if you want peace anytime soon, then you're going to have to do this. I don't think it had to happen this way, but...
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't want it. But it's, again, short of us putting boots on the ground.
The thing is, though,
those Russians back.
Whatever they agree to with the term, within the framework of a land swap deal, whatever they come up with, some of what Putin is demanding will not fly on the Ukrainian side.
And that's him being hyperbolic. You've got to ask for more than you expect to get.
But not just because of the Ukrainian constitution, which says they can't give up land, but also because the Ukrainians know that it's some of those areas are like fortified residential and industrial areas that create sort of like a defense barrier, and it's like naturally an area that can be defended. And if they give those areas up and allow Russia to have them, which Russia doesn't even control at this point, but they're demanding that they have them, it would allow Russia then to reconstitute their forces there and continue to fight later.
It's part of negotiation, though. And you've got to ask for things you know you're not going to get. I've been a union member. I've been in union negotiations, both from the company side and the union worker side. You ask for more than you know you're going to get. And the whole, I forgot the other point. We've said it before. You have to hold some cards going into the negotiation. It's why you and I both agreed you can't just be defensive. Ukraine needed to push into parts of Russia, as they did, and try to hold them as a bargaining chip to give back in part of the negotiation.
It says here, Putin has agreed to security guarantees for Ukraine, according to Trump. So RT is reporting this, but of course they're quoting Trump. So I don't know how much weight to give it.
Exactly.
Ukraine strikes key oil pipeline. What the West doesn't understand about China's growing military might. So what was this one here again? Putin aide confirms details of Trump's call. So let's see what they're saying about that phone call. So this, I'm thinking, was this the phone call that came after the meeting this afternoon with Zelensky? Russian President aide Yuri Ushakov has confirmed details of a conversation President Putin has held with his U.S. counterpart Donald Trump, who placed the call to Moscow after pausing a meeting with Vladimir Zelensky. The talks in the White House are thought to revolve around territorial exchanges between Russia and Ukraine, a recognition of realities on the ground, and a security architecture that meets both Kyiv's and Moscow's demands. According to Ushakov, Trump's most recent call lasted 40 minutes, and both leaders expressed readiness to discuss a resolution to the Ukraine conflict with Zelensky. Trump hosted Zelensky along with leaders of France, Germany, the UK, Italy, Finland, and the heads of NATO and the European Commission for talks in Washington on the Ukraine conflict, where he used his public comments to shrug off German and French requests that a ceasefire be agreed in the short term. Regarding potential communication with his Russian counterpart, Trump told the media briefing before going into today's meetings, he's expecting my call when we're finished.
Yeah. And the key line in there, recognition of realities on the ground. That's what I've been speaking to this whole time. Ukrainians, some of them are being unrealistic. Right, Putin is being unrealistic that he's going to get extra land he's not even occupying. Please. There's Americans also unrealistic, either wanting to sell out to Putin, sell out all Ukrainians and all of Ukraine to Putin, and others who believe, oh no, the U.S. should put boots on the ground and push Russia back. That's not the reality on the ground unless you're begging for a third world war.
The Alaska summit was a success. Just got to make it last. So what are they saying here? Do not expect Western mainstream media, NATO, EU, Europe's politicians or the Zelensky regime and its surrogates to admit it, but there is no doubt that the Alaska summit between the Russian and American presidents was a success. Not a breakthrough either, but clearly also more than an it's good they're at least talking event. This was not comparable to the Geneva meeting between Vladimir Putin and then U.S. President Joe Biden in 2021, which is doomed to fail due to the Biden administration's hubristic intransigence. Fundamentally, both sides know, not only one, have scored what Western pundits love to call wins. The U.S. has shown that EU, NATO, Europeans, that it and it alone decides when and how it talks to Russia and with what aims.
I agree wholeheartedly with that. There's a little bit of a win for both sides there.
An application of the European vassals find this hard to grasp because it's an application of genuine sovereignty, something they don't have or want anymore. Russia, for its part, has shown that it can negotiate while the fighting continues, and that it's under no legal or moral obligation or any. What they're saying here, Joseph, is that Europe is not sovereign anymore, that it's subservient and under the thumb of the United States, and that was exhibited in Alaska. He goes on here and says the fact that we know so little, at this point at least, about the specific detailed content of the summit talks and their outcomes is actually a sign of seriousness. This is how diplomacy worth the name works, calmly, confidently, and patiently taking the time to achieve a decent, robust result. This is actually an important op-ed because this actually reinforces the point that I was making before, that Putin has also alluded to just in the last few weeks, that that European sovereignty is actually something that can be questioned, especially when they are dependent on the U.S. for defense. And even just by purchasing U.S. weapons and being entirely dependent on U.S. technology and weapons, it means that you are then maybe not truly a sovereign.
That's why I agree with Trump pushing NATO to the 5%, and you need to reindustrialize more of your own defense and your own weapons, your own tanks, your own planes.
Except he doesn't want. That's not where we're going. Where we're going is they're going to just buy more U.S. weapons.
Yeah, that doesn't solve the problem.
Well, it doesn't solve the problem of individual sovereignty, and also, this path creates very unique, shall I say, new geopolitical realities, new tensions between nation states. It will throw the question of sovereignty front and center. This could be as much simply having Europe buy all these weapons from the United States. I'm not sure it's actually going to stabilize things.
No, I agree with you on that. They need to step up, and France needs to be France first, England first, Germany first.
Yeah, this approach, while it may on the surface appear to be a continuation of the kind of alliances or partnerships and the NATO framework that we've had since World War II, I don't believe that that's actually the case, because these European countries, Canada included, our ability to self-defend has been eroded immensely over the years because of massive leaps in technology that we have not been able to keep up with, because we have deferred defense through our spending, even an acquisition of US weapons, and being so integrated with the US, but allowing the US and encouraging the US and participating in the America First agenda, or approach. Agenda is not the right word. Approach, letting the U.S. take the lead for all the NATO countries has maybe not been the wisest move. We probably should have had more balance across the board.
Absolutely agree with that. Absolutely. And one point that hasn't been made yet is, again, although I made the point, Putin has broke every agreement he's made regarding these matters thus far, including the next day after the Alaska, and we're closer to peace. What happened? Russian drones hit civilian Ukrainian targets, not military, civilian, war crime material. So he's talking out of one side of his mouth, peace, and the next day, more attacks on Ukrainian civilians. Trust but verify. There's no deal until they're sitting in Switzerland signing a deal.
So there you have it. I mean, we can go on and on about this, but honestly, at this point, what is the point? Because we don't know. And it's going to come down to Putin. I'm encouraged a little bit by the headlines that I'm seeing on RT, because they seem to be open to a path forward through peace. But everything we're seeing in those headlines tonight is it's a reaction, or it's reporting on what's going on over here without really much input from Russian officials. So
there was no headline about Russian drones hitting civilian apartment buildings the day after he talked peace. You didn't see anything about that.
Let's look at the Kyiv Post.
Now, in Ukrainian papers, definitely that will be. See, I don't trust Zelensky. I don't trust Putin. Neither are trustworthy. Trust but verify. Until we've gotten an agreement and troops are moving in and out of areas required by the agreement, there is no agreement.
Trump brings Zelensky EU leaders to White House. Russia agrees to allow Ukraine security guarantees. So that's a very positive thing. That's what they're saying in Kyiv.
But again, that's quoting Trump.
The end of the road. Trump tells Zelensky, reasonable chance of ending war in Ukraine. You look fabulous, it says. Trump compliments Zelensky on his attire this time. You look fabulous.
Well, yeah, you would expect that idiotic diplomacy, hyperbole. That's not of consequence.
Volodymyr, you look fabulous, darling.
That is not of consequence. Again, what can be put in writing and they will sign. Until that, it's all posh.
Oops, I lost Joseph there.
Well, yeah,
there
until they sign the agreement and troops are moved, it's all posturing. Our side, their side, every side, as I've said during this show before, all sides engage in propaganda. All sides, including mine. I deal in reality of
the
that.
United States engaged in propaganda? You wouldn't direct any of that up here at us Canuckistanians by chance, would you? You wouldn't do that, would you? As you're trying to take over our country? You think you might do a little of that? I don't know. I don't know.
All
Also, I have
sides
to.
do it. All sides. Every side. No
I try not
exception.
to. I try
Now
not to
there's
do that
what,
either.
no, you and I don't do that, but our leaders do, right? We
Yeah.
at least the U.S. and Canada is not as bad as Baghdad Bob as the tanks are rolling behind them. We're winning.
What did you think of Zelensky's outfit today?
I liked that you dressed. I don't think that's a requirement, but still all in black, so he maintained his theme.
Looking
and
very fashion forward. I have to say
but
that.
that's not relevant. I don't care about that part of it.
I don't know. Some of these guys, there's. I think they're maybe not secure in their masculinity, and they keep their affinity for fashion.
The suit
kind
and the
of
tie
hidden
is
in
a
closet.
costume.
Hey,
yes.
you know who I have? There's somebody else who kind of hides.
You
in the
notice you
closet.
never see me appear here in a suit and tie, and it's not. I haven't worn a tie in 2 decades, and I told my sister, "You put a fucking tie on me in my casket, I'm coming back to haunt you." No ties, no neck noose.
Sometimes the biggest bruisers out there, the tough guys, the world leaders, even big bruising boxers. Sometimes those guys they hide in the closet, just like guys who sometimes pretend to be big bruising freedom fighters and then turn around and vote for people.
I know where this is going.
Not quite. You might not
Cue
know where
the
this is
video.
going. Here you go. This guy spends a lot of time in the closet.
Perfect.
Ladies and gents, put up your dukes and pull up your socks. It's Detroit's darling of destruction, the flapping, slapping, sass-mouthed king of the ring, Motor Mouth.
He's a Motor City marvel with a mouth full of sass. Throws jabs so quick they're made out of brass. He'll insult your mother and punch out your pop, then steal your gal with a shoulder pop. But when the crowd's gone home and the bell's gone ding, he does a little very different thing. Motor Mouth in a tutu, talking big but he's sweet as fondue. Paints his nails in candy stripes, sachets round in his fancy tights. He struts and he shimmies behind closed doors, pirouettes cross them parquet floors. He's the Sultan of Smack, the Duke of Flair, with glitter in places he won't declare. He'll bob and weave, then mock your tie, call your grandma slow and your punches dry. He's fast with the fists and faster with jive, but at home it's jazz hands and he thrives. He's got pearls in the pantry, bows in a bin, and a mirror that says, "Let's twirl again." Motor Mouth in a tutu, boxing brute with a soft debut. Fierce by day, but when night falls near, he's got blush on his cheeks and a rhinestone ear. He'll knock you flat, then blow a kiss. Curtsies hard, you don't wanna miss. A Charleston kick, a little hip-hop bounce. He tucks and spins on the 12-count pounds. A left hook, right hook, pirouette twist. Ballet bruiser, you get the gist. Feathered heavyweights champ and a fashion guru. He floats like a flapper, stings like a bow, got sequins where no man should go. So if he calls you names, just let it slide, 'cause deep inside there's a gal with pride. He's the queen of mean in a total disguise, with boxer briefs and butterfly eyes.
And remember, folks, don't judge a book by its boxing gloves. Sometimes the fiercest fellas just want to dance.
And now you can understand why somebody like that might just vote for Justin Trudeau.
You know what? This is a perfect example of my every side engages in propaganda. You took a little creative license and a little hyperbole there, but you didn't start that war. You have every right to respond as you are now, after for so long just putting up with the shit. So
But Joseph, I'll get a final thought from you as we wrap up tonight. And where do you want to leave us?
with all sides.
With that,
all sides engage in propaganda.
Yeah.
There is no agreement until there's actual Putin and Zelensky signing one in Switzerland, and the devil is in the details. And both sides, all sides, should ask for Mars while understanding you're only going to get the moon. That's how diplomacy, that's how reality works, whether you're dealing in war or union business negotiations.
Can I connect with you through the day tomorrow to record your
yeah, sure.
War of
Yep.
the Worlds thing? Okay.
Tomorrow is Tuesday. I've got a lot of interviews going on Wednesday, but tomorrow will work. Yes.
Okay. All right. Stick around for after the broadcast. We'll chat privately and we'll work out a time for that. And I can only say this is not a propaganda channel.
Yeah.
I try to avoid having people on who do spread propaganda. Not to say that it hasn't happened, because we're in war and the first casualty of war is truth. But I'll tell you this, you know what is true? This guy absolutely 100% for sure voted for Trudeau. So if you're not happy with all of these things I talked about that he talks about, tent cities.
My last real final
people,
thought is you need escapism. Buy my book and read it.
There you go. Yeah. But no,
escape this stuff, read my book.
What you're about to what we're going to share with you again right now.
Cue it up again.
This is not propaganda. This is Motormouth opening his mouth. This is Motormouth telling you what he thinks of you, and admitting, or just this is what he actually did.
His own words.
His own words. I have to say nothing else except see you tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, on the flip side.
Poser. Definition: a person who pretends to be what he or she is not. An affected or insincere person. A fake, a fraud. Like this guy who says he hates Trudeau, but actually voted for him.
And that's how Trudeau got in. He legalized pot. Well, you have my fucking vote, buddy.
He's got a flag on his truck, screaming loud, talking tough, calls Trudeau a call me joke.
Right, so he got away with a lot of things, Justin Trudeau.
But in the booth,
well, you have my fucking vote, buddy.
that pencil broke. You got my vote. Yeah, I lied, then I took that note. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote. Told my crew not never vote. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote.
Fuck you guys.
Freedom shirt and a rebel hat, yells I stand.
vote, buddy.
He hates the man, but feeds the plan. Sold us out with a hidden hand. No spine, no shame. Just burning down the name. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote. Fake rebel in a freedom coat. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote. Burn it down while he stays afloat. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote.
I don't give a fuck. Fuck you
You
guys.
said you wouldn't,
There's too many pussies in this country to do anything about it anyways.
but you did.
Call me a traitor. Call me whatever you want.
I got both shots.
You said you're different.
Well, you have my fucking vote, buddy.
Fuck off.
You're full of it. Hey, Trudeau, you got my vote.
Well, you have my fucking vote, buddy.
Fuck you guys.
Brought to you by Leo Lucifer and the Libertarian Party of Canada.
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.